The story begins in a small, bustling city where dreams often collide with harsh realities. A young woman named Lina works tirelessly to make ends meet. Between her part-time job at a cafe and her late-night shifts cleaning offices, she barely earns enough to cover rent and bills. Her days are filled with exhaustion, her nights with quiet worry, and every dollar matters. One rainy evening, while waiting for the bus, she's approached by a well-dressed woman named Clara, who claims to have a simple job for her. The offer sounds strange at first. Clara wants Lina to attend a blind date at a high-end restaurant and make it go terribly wrong. Her only task, embarrass the man, insult him subtly, spill a drink, and ensure he never wants to see the woman he's meeting again. At first, Lina hesitates. The idea feels wrong. But when Clara pulls out a crisp $20 bill, something inside her breaks. $20 might seem small to most, but to Lina, it means groceries for a week, or the ability to keep her phone connected. She convinces herself it's harmless, just an act, a one-time favor. After all, she doesn't even know the man. Why should it matter? The next evening, Lina walks into the elegant restaurant feeling out of place in her borrowed dress. Her heart races as she scans the tables, searching for her target. The plan is simple: pretend to be the date, make a scene, and leave. But as she approaches the table, everything changes. Sitting there, waiting patiently, is a man whose calm presence disarms her completely. His name is Ethan, and though his suit and posture hint at wealth, his gentle smile radiates warmth instead of arrogance. Lina sits down, ready to start her charade, but the words don't come out the way she rehearsed. Ethan's kindness catches her off guard. He pulls out her chair, offers her water, and starts a genuine conversation about life, art, and dreams. Every time she tries to ruin the date, his responses only make her laugh or blush. Slowly, the $20 in her pocket starts to feel heavier than gold, a burden pressing against her conscience. What began as a quick job for survival now feels like the beginning of something much deeper. And though she doesn't know it yet, this fateful evening will alter the course of both their lives forever. As Lina nervously sat across from Ethan, she reminded herself why she was there: to ruin the date. Every minute that passed made her heart pound harder. She tried to remember Clara's instructions: spill something, say something offensive, and make him regret ever showing up. But the moment Ethan opened his mouth, her resolve began to crumble. Ethan greeted her with a warm smile that reached his eyes, the kind that carried no judgment, only genuine kindness. He wasn't what she expected at all. There was no arrogance, no pretentious air of a rich man flaunting his status. Instead, he seemed real. He spoke softly, asked about her day, and even noticed the nervous tremble in her hands, offering a reassuring, "You don't have to be nervous. Let's just enjoy dinner." Lina tried to push away her guilt by acting careless. She spoke rudely to the waiter, made awkward jokes, and pretended to be uninterested. But Ethan never lost his composure. He responded with patience and gentle humor, effortlessly turning her attempts at sabotage into moments of laughter. When she accidentally spilled a bit of water on the table, he simply smiled, handed her a napkin, and said, "Accidents happen. Don't worry about it." The more he spoke, the more she realized there was something special about him, a quiet strength, a rare humility. He listened when she talked about her struggles, not out of politeness, but with genuine interest. He didn't interrupt, didn't boast, didn't pity. Instead, he encouraged her, saying, "You sound like someone who's doing her best. That's something to be proud of." Lina's carefully constructed plan was falling apart. She wasn't ruining the date, she was enjoying it. She found herself laughing, sharing pieces of her real self she hadn't revealed in years. Ethan had a way of making the world feel lighter, as if his calm presence could erase every worry she carried. As dinner ended, Ethan stood up and thanked her for the evening, saying, "It's rare to meet someone so refreshing. I really enjoyed tonight." Those words pierced through her guilt like a knife. He had no idea she was there under false pretenses, no idea that she had been paid a mere $20 to destroy this moment. For the first time in a long while, Lina didn't feel like a poor girl playing a part. She felt seen. And that terrified her more than anything else. The morning after the date, Lina couldn't shake off the guilt that weighed heavily on her heart. She had accepted $20 to sabotage an innocent man's evening, yet all she could think about was the kindness in Ethan's eyes and the sincerity in his voice. Every moment from that dinner replayed in her mind, his laughter, his patience, and the way he made her feel like she mattered. She had gone there as a fraud, but he had treated her like someone of worth. A few days later, she ran into Clara, the woman who had hired her. Clara smirked and asked, "Did you do it? Did you ruin the date?" Lina hesitated before nodding weakly. "Good," Clara said coldly. "That man deserved it. He rejected my friend, and I wanted him to feel humiliated." Then she added with a laugh, "You have no idea who you messed with, that man's a millionaire CEO. Can you believe it?" Lina froze. Her breath caught in her throat. A millionaire CEO? The man who spoke to her like an equal. The man who never once made her feel small. She could barely believe it. She had assumed Ethan was just another ordinary man looking for a date, not someone powerful, influential, and wealthy beyond her imagination. The revelation shattered her. She realized that not only had she deceived a good man, but she had also unknowingly disrespected someone whose humility made his success invisible. The $20 now felt like a curse in her pocket, dirty money earned through betrayal. That night, she couldn't sleep. She sat by her window, staring out at the city lights, wishing she could turn back time and undo what she had done. Days passed, and guilt became unbearable. She decided to visit the same restaurant, hoping she might see him again. To her shock, she did, but not as a customer. Ethan was there speaking to the staff, discussing charity partnerships and funding programs for underprivileged youth. Watching him from afar, she finally saw the truth: he wasn't just rich, he was good. His success hadn't made him arrogant, it had made him compassionate. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered to herself, "He didn't deserve what I did." Lina knew she couldn't hide the truth any longer. No matter the consequences, she had to face Ethan, and confess everything. Because love built on lies could never stand, and she couldn't bear the weight of silence any longer. Lina spent several sleepless nights battling her conscience. Every time she tried to move on, Ethan's face appeared in her mind, that warm smile, the way he had listened to her as if her words truly mattered. She couldn't bear the thought of keeping her secret any longer. No matter how terrifying it seemed, she knew she had to tell him the truth. Honesty, even if it cost her everything, was the only way to free herself from the guilt that was slowly consuming her. One crisp morning, Lina gathered her courage and went to Ethan's company headquarters. Standing in front of the towering glass building, she felt small, out of place, and painfully aware of the difference between their worlds. But she pushed forward, asking the receptionist if she could see Mr. Ethan Ward. The woman smiled politely and said, "Do you have an appointment?" Lina shook her head and replied softly, "No, but please, tell him it's important." Minutes later, she was surprised when Ethan himself appeared in the lobby. He looked genuinely happy to see her. "Lina? What a nice surprise," he said with that familiar gentle tone. But as soon as he noticed the nervous look in her eyes, his smile faded slightly. "Is everything all right?" Lina took a deep breath, her hands trembling. "No, it's not," she admitted. "There's something I need to tell you, something I should have said the night we met." Her voice cracked as she continued. "I wasn't supposed to be your date. I was paid $20 by someone to ruin that night. I didn't know who you were, I just needed the money." Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked down in shame. "I'm so sorry, Ethan. You were kind to me when I didn't deserve it." For a long moment, Ethan said nothing. Lina's heart pounded in her chest, expecting anger or disgust. But instead, Ethan sighed softly and said, thank you for telling me the truth." His voice was calm, not harsh. Most people would have kept lying. "You made a mistake, but you also had the courage to face it. That says a lot about who you really are." Lina couldn't believe it. Instead of judging her, he forgave her. That moment changed everything. For the first time, she realized that real strength wasn't in hiding one's flaws, but in owning them. And Ethan's forgiveness didn't just heal her guilt, it gave her hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, she was worthy of a second chance. After Lina's confession, a strange calm settled between her and Ethan. She had feared rejection, anger, or even ridicule, but instead, she encountered understanding and compassion. Ethan's reaction was not what she had anticipated. Rather than allowing the past to define their connection, he focused on the present, on the honesty she had shown and the person she truly was beneath the initial deception. That simple act of owning her mistake became the foundation for something far more meaningful than either of them could have imagined. Over the next few weeks, Lina and Ethan began spending time together, not as the woman who had tried to ruin a date and the unsuspecting millionaire, but as two individuals genuinely interested in each other's lives. Ethan admired Lina's resilience, her humility, and the way she saw the world despite her struggles. She, in turn, was drawn to his kindness, patience, and the authenticity that shone through his otherwise affluent and polished exterior. Every conversation, every shared laugh, made the barriers between them disappear. The irony of their situation wasn't lost on either of them. A night intended to sabotage a connection had instead sparked one of the most profound relationships either had ever experienced. Lina often remembered that $20 bill, the symbol of a plan meant to harm, and realized it had led her to something far greater. It was not wealth or material gain that mattered now, but trust, respect, and mutual admiration. Through deception, she had uncovered a love rooted in acceptance and sincerity. As their bond deepened, Lina realized that Ethan saw her not for the mistakes she had made, but for the courage she had displayed in confronting them. He valued her authenticity, her willingness to admit wrongdoing, and the kindness that had remained intact despite difficult circumstances. Love, they discovered, was not about flawless beginnings but about the choices made afterward. Eventually, what had started as an accidental, almost comical encounter blossomed into a committed relationship. Friends and family marveled at how a story of betrayal transformed into one of profound love. Lina and Ethan's journey proved that even in moments of deception or misjudgment, honesty and empathy could create an unbreakable bond. In the end, the story left an inspiring message: love often arrives unexpectedly, sometimes through mistakes or missteps, and the courage to face the truth can turn even the most unlikely beginnings into a lifetime of happiness. Lina's small act of honesty had not only redeemed her but had also opened the door to a love she never imagined possible, proving that the heart's capacity to forgive and embrace is far greater than anyone could anticipate.